Hello, this is Kurt Granlund, and I wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about Lesson 7 and the terror barrier. Uh, as Bob describes, every one of us will come up against a terror barrier at some point in our lives. If you're doing anything out of your normal realm, it's pretty much of a guarantee you're going to come up against the terror barrier. The terror barrier stops the majority of people in their tracks as they try to expand out of their normal thinking patterns, their normal habits, normal routines. So I'll start by bringing up a screenshot of the terror barrier, and then we'll talk about it from there. Let me bring that up. Okay, as you can see on the diagram, normal situation, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind are both functioning in an X-type vibration, which of course leads to X-type results, which we're familiar with. We get all the time. What happens is when we start to entertain a new idea, a new thought, which we'll call the Y idea, that enters into our brain, into the conscious part of our brain. And as long as it stays there in the conscious part of our brain, it's really not anything to be concerned about. It doesn't affect us in any way. It doesn't affect our results in any way. So as a result of that, that is where most people stay. They will get a new idea that they would like to make a change in their life, do something different, open a business, sell a business, buy a house, things of that nature. And they'll decide that that's what they're going to do. They'll think about it in their conscious mind, but never really act upon it, and never really associate any emotion to it. Once you decide that you're going to take that to the next step and become emotionally involved with that Y idea, then you move to the terror barrier. The Y idea gets transferred down into the subconscious mind at that point, and that is when the terror barrier strikes. Everything in your body, your mind kicks in and forces you to basically revert back to your old habits. You'll have people around you who are not supportive, who will tell you that this won't work, this will never work, you can't afford that new house, you can't start that business, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your effort, you're wasting your money. You name it, you will hear that from everyone around you. That only adds to this terror barrier, in which your subconscious mind is telling you that you're not capable of doing this. You're not able to crash through the terror barrier. A good analogy for that is simply a brick wall, and you need to get through it to the other side. So once you finally work on that idea enough, and you become enough emotionally involved in that idea, you will eventually get through the terror barrier. You may get partway through and revert back. You may get partway through and revert back. That can happen numerous times before you finally make it. Usually what happens is you will gain enough support from other areas of your life through study, through reading, through study of other individuals like Bob, and you will get up enough nerve, so to speak, to crash through the terror barrier. When you do that, your Y idea now goes from the conscious mind down into the subconscious mind and follows through with your results. That is what you're looking for, the being able to change your results in life, buy the house, start the business, whatever those new results you're looking for are. Once you get those results, then you've crashed through the terror barrier. You may think at that point that everything is all good and you're ready to go. However, as long as you continue to grow in your life, you are going to encounter new terror barriers. Let's say you started your business and it's doing well in your small brick and mortar business is doing very well in your small local town, and you decide you would like to open that business up to the internet and sell your products on Amazon, for example. Again, that terror barrier is going to creep back up. You're going to carry around that why idea in your conscious mind until you finally decide you're going to associate some emotion to that, which will in turn push it down into the subconscious mind. And again, the terror barrier strikes. Throughout your life, if you continue to grow and expand, you are going to encounter the terror barrier numerous times. Once you know this formula, know how it is enacted, it certainly makes it easier to understand what's going on and to recognize that you're up against the terror barrier. However, it does not necessarily make it any easier to crash through that terror barrier. So you're going to have to be able to recognize it and push through that terror barrier multiple times over and over throughout your life. So that's an explanation. Personally, the terror barrier is probably the biggest factor in holding me back throughout my life. Oftentimes I've had many ideas, which in turn into just going back to the old way, because it's easier that way. You don't really think about the terror barrier before becoming involved with thinking into results. I had no idea there was such a thing as a terror barrier. It just felt comfortable to remain in my current state and keep doing what I was doing. So that's what I did. Now that I'm aware of that, I am completely aware that I need to conquer the terror barrier and continue pushing through. This video is yet another example of a huge terror barrier for me. And now that I've conquered that, I will move on to lesson 8. Okay, thank you for joining me today for an explanation on the terror barrier.